So, what time you got to get to work? Oh, you got time. Hey! What's going on, LaToya?
Oh, well, we're just doing what it do, making it do what it does around these parts. How about you?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. My spirit is up, listening to music, not trying to listen to what your president might be doing.
Oh my. Well, I don't do that either. So I guess that works. That makes two of us.
Yeah. What you up to?
Well, just over here, sorting through some things. Realizing that we had a couple installments that we will get to post because we had a chance to yesterday have a wonderful Zoom bombing. And we got folks that dropped in that were completely unexpected. And it wasn't quite a Zoom bomb because I think Zoom bombs are ones where people are coming in and they're saying things that aren't useful and they're being really obnoxious. And so that wasn't exactly the case with our friend yesterday.
Oh, we'd have cut that shit short anyway.
Exactly. Oh, I know how to give them the boot. That's for sure.
I'm sure you do.
Indeed. I make sure that's the first thing I figured out. How do I cut something out in case I need to?
how to pull the trigger.
Gotta know how to do it. Oh, well, happy Friday.
Hallelujah. 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 Holla at you.
Yes, and so we're on Friday. This is we've done almost a full week of installments. Today we're talking financial literacy course yet again, and then tomorrow, community by design. If everything works out and our schedules still permit, we'll be able to do a community design tomorrow at noon, depending upon schedules. But given that today is a discussion of the financial literacy course, I do want to make sure that we honor those plans and kind of be thinking about where we were and thinking through these. So I do actually think that maybe we should recap some of what we heard. Do you have any? I don't know. Yesterday we talked with the drop-in. We talked credit cards and credit from different parts of the world, and the fact that, and what also came up was I think it was called the Credit Card Act. Let's see if I can look it up. But what it did was change how businesses were able to charge you, what kind of perks you were able to get, and how much money these businesses, these credit card companies were making per purchase.
Yeah. The kind of information I knew a little bit about, but I know that they have formulas supposedly that they use, and I wonder how equitable they are in how they administer.
Yeah, so it looks like, it's funny because just doing a quick search of the Credit Card Act, the Credit Card Accountability, Responsibility, and Disclosure, also called the Card Act of 2009, is a federal statute passed by the United States Congress, signed by U.S. President Barack Obama on May 22nd, 2009. So we're coming up on an anniversary. It is a comprehensive credit card reform legislation that aims to, quote, establish fair and transparent practices relating to the extension of credit under an open-end consumer credit plan and for other purposes. So they had different provisions that they set out and things like that. So that's interesting. I am going to do a little more digging because I think credit is also something that we can be considering as we go through developing financial literacy course for the community. But even before credit, before you can get credit, you also, I think being a bigger earner, and maybe I'll see if you agree. Would you think that being a bigger earner meaning making more money, is more or less important than having good credit?
I think just off the top of my head, I think having more money is better than credit. Um, and if you have more money, you basically you will have good credit based on your income. Should you need to finance something, and so far as the Obama bill, I know that that Trump had reversed just about everything that Obama did. So I'm wondering if he got to that too.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Right.
uh, and so
Yeah.
that that's. Go ahead.
No, I really didn't have a whole lot to say. It's just the fact that, when we're thinking about the fact that we're trying to address how we have a way to get access to more money, at the end of the day, if you're not going to have a good credit score, you still got to be able to have a higher enough earning. And that's why it's really important to really be considering and thinking about what kind of skills you have. What is it that you, like you said, our first question that we want to be asking students along this journey as we do this financial literacy course is to be thinking, what is it you want to do? What are you trying to accomplish? And, and hopefully allow that to contextualize how we drive what they need to be learning. Because I think when we contextualize, and when I use the word contextualize, essentially what I'm saying is put what needs to be known in a context or in a frame or in a situation, a scenario that that applies and makes sense for the person that's trying to learn it. So if we know that someone's interested in going into lawn care or environmental conservatism or whatever, we're going to get them figuring out different plants and maybe connecting to some of the wildlife parks, some of the nature park, and maybe recreation, what have you. So there's certain things that they need to know, and places that they should be going to learn more. And so the hope is to putting things that they need to know, like biology of plants, into a context where they actually are working at, maybe in the case of previous kind of curriculum development work I've done before, working at a park, a nature park, and doing the kind of lawn care and the treatment and the weed pulling, and the conversations and the collaborations and the connections to the community that's necessary to really show people, the value of nature. I mean, and that's just if that's a particular area you want to go into. So the point is, trying to find and frame a context for folks is going to be important. And so we got to be figuring out where the kids are trying to go with their goals, what they want to be able to accomplish, so we can really be setting things up to make sense for them, right? Just got to make it make sense. Like, when am I going to use this? That's what they love asking.
Yeah. Well, that's one of the things. There's a couple of strategies that I have for that, and I kind of liked you had these applications and questionnaires. I remember you really grilled me before you let me be your friend. I had to fill out these forms and everything to make an assessment of who I'm is, and and I thought they were very could be very useful. And as you're speaking now, it just reminds me of one of the techniques that I use in my employability skills classes, is that the first thing I asked them to do, one of the first things that I asked them to do, is to tell me what it is that you would like for any of your former employers to say about you. If I were to call them up and ask them about you, what would you want them to say? Because I do that in lieu of tell me about yourself, because people tear that up.
Right. Oh
When
my
you
gosh,
ask.
all the pieces.
Yeah. And so after doing that for a number of times, I decided to ask them, what would you like people to say about you?
Right.
And that gets closer to what their aspirations are, and you could kind of like make questions that would go off into, and also career assessment tests, that are free online that would,
Absolutely.
you've seen them. So, and
And there
that kind
are a
of
lot of them, and there are a lot of them, and
Mhm.
I think the task at hand for folks that are interested in really infusing this into their community, I think the big task into making something meaningful is and something that you can track. Because again, when I frame what you should be doing in these, I do want to go ahead and give context, meaning I do want to let you know the scenario that I'm considering in my mind. And that's creating something that you will be able to, in a way that you're streamlining the process to be able to receive funding later. Okay. And that's from any entity, any kind of angel investor, anybody that is going to invest. Here's how you should frame what you're doing, and here's how you should package it so that they fully understand where you're going with it. Okay. So that's what I mean when I say all of these things. Okay? All of these things is that, and that's not
Mhm.
what everybody is going towards. Okay. So I just want
Right.
to make that clear because when I make the suggestion to do certain things, in particular in
Mhm.
trying to get and figure out what skills they should be learning, the task at hand is to really figure out how to streamline. Some of those tests are extensive. You got to figure out how to break them into sections and figure out how to discuss them. I think you can probably spend a week to 2 weeks on in just character trait development, understanding of why they even fall into this category or what kind of skills are associated. So, I think communities interested in really helping their students develop, yes, integrate the use of different personality testing, workflow testing. Whether they're a starter or a finisher, more of a starter or a finisher, there's personality tests for that. Do that, but figure out how to make it so that it's not mundane because they can be a pain
Right.
in the ass. Ain't
Yeah, I
nobody
wouldn't
trying
want
to
to
go
go.
through and click that.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to go for hours. I think the longest one I've seen might have been 20 questions that I would even pose. Because I want it to be an exercise that we can do within like 20 minutes or so, and and then it gives them like it narrows it down to about 5 or 6 different uh, fields that they might be interested in. And you ask, does that sound like you? And just more tailoring how you're going to proceed with what their interests are.
Right.
So they're not just grabbing like what they think is going to be quick.
Definitely. And that's exactly what contextualized education is, in a big old nutshell. So that's exactly where you're trying to go with things. Um,
Yeah, and that